Welcome to League of Leaders special Sunday edition, Super Bowl Sunday. Al and I are pumped, a lot to discuss today, but we're going to try and make it quick so everybody can get back to cooking their favorite foods and enjoying this wonderful day that should be a national holiday tomorrow. I truly believe that it should be a national holiday. But Al, let's go right into the game. Let's talk Tampa Bay, Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to do picks last before we end today's conversation, but what do you like about this game, and what are your expectations?
Yeah, that's a great question, Zach. I hope it's going to be an awesome game. We'll see if one team. I know I won't talk predictions, but if one team is going to blow someone out, it'll probably be Kansas City. Unfortunately, as much as I love, Tom Brady over there. But as far as the game's concerned, Patrick Mahomes is the young, up and coming talent of the NFL, the face of the league, and deservedly so. I mean, he's a great talent. He's going to be in the league. Barring anything crazy, he's going to be in the league for a long time, probably another 15 to 17 years or so. So I love the matchup between the quarterbacks. Obviously, it's getting a lot of attention, and I think it deserves it. You got Tom Brady, dad and son, essentially, right? So, we'll see if that torch gets passed today. I obviously hope it doesn't. Not yet. Not until Tom Brady officially retires and is done. I'm still going to keep rooting for him. What he's been able to do has been amazing. So, I think that's the big matchup that everybody's looking forward to in regards to the game, and maybe the offense, right, of Kansas City. Everybody talks about that offense, but it reminds me a lot, Zach, of the best show on turf. I think it was with the St. Louis Rams, and back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I think that this Kansas City offense is similar to that, and probably even better, to be honest with you. So they've got so many pieces there that are very, very hard to stop. So, I'm hoping for a great game and looking forward to it. Zach?
So, Al, just a quick follow-up. Kansas City Chiefs offense is high-powered, and I do also agree that it reminds me of the best show on turf, that St. Louis Rams team. But what about the scoring? I mean, we've heard defense wins championships. I think we've seen a transition that offensive teams have really pulled it out in the last few years, in the last decade or so. But what are your thoughts on the scoring? Do you think it's going to be a high-powered offensive game? Do you think it's going to be, a surprisingly defensive game? What are your thoughts on that?
So I think, a lot of games, I think, generally start off pretty slow in most sports as teams start to get used to the game and the feel of the game, and then the offenses typically pick up in the later part of the game. I think it's going to be vice versa. I think both offenses are going to come out pretty strong to start, and then I actually think the defenses start settling in the second half of the game. So I think we will see a higher scoring game, probably in the 40s or 50s. I don't think it's going to be higher than 55 points combined between the two or anything like that. I'd be a little shocked, but maybe like a 31-24 type of game, somewhere in that ballpark. But I do think that the offenses start out well, and then in the second half, the defenses kind of come alive, and maybe there's a little bit more running in regards to the offenses in the second half. But and talk about defense, I think you're going to give the slight edge to Tampa in this regard. So it'll be interesting to see if they can slow down Kansas City at all, and that potent offense that they have over there. But throughout this postseason, Tampa's defense has been phenomenal.
I agree, and I really do think that if they can slow down Kansas City's offense at all and give Tom Brady and his squad an opportunity to stay close, we know what Tom Brady does in the fourth quarter. So I think that's gonna be the tell right there. Is can they keep it close, and or is Kansas City? I mean, it's amazing to see Patrick Mahomes, just how easily he can throw for 300 or 350 yards and go down the field. It's ridiculous how easy it looks sometimes. So it's going to be a great game. Looking forward to it. So along with the game, there's a lot of things around the game that makes today so exciting. One thing is the halftime show. The Weeknd is performing. He put up his own money. I think something upwards of $7 million of his own money for the halftime show. What are your thoughts on the halftime show? overrated, underrated? Are you excited for it? Is it something you look forward to? Is it something if you catch it, you pay attention to, or do you kind of check out for the halftime? What's your halftime show regimen on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, Zach. The halftime show, I always look at it in regards to it being essentially what brings in people who don't like sports or don't like football to watch, right? So for me, as an avid sports fan, somebody who loves the game, I don't really get excited for the halftime show, no matter who's performing, unless maybe it's Pitbull, which doesn't happen. So, um, but I don't really care too much about the halftime show. Sometimes I honestly don't even watch it, or that's when I go and get more food and a drink or something, because I certainly don't do it during the game at all. And I don't want to do it during commercials half the time too. But I for me, the halftime show doesn't do much for me. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I think I think it's a part of the event, and I think it's interesting to see it's usually talented individuals, performers. So I pay attention to it, but it's one of those things that I'll kind of see what the buzz is afterwards, and maybe take a look at it the following day, just to what was the halftime show, because I'm so fixed on the game and what's going on Super Bowl Sunday that I really don't. It's not something that I pay attention to. When's the halftime show start? When's it end? Who's performing? But this year, I'll pay attention a little bit. I think it's interesting that a performer put up their own money. So what are they going to do with it? To do it their way, I guess, is interesting to me. And I think it's just a spin on how halftime shows have been done before. So, I think halftime shows are overrated, in my opinion, for the Super Bowl. But I think it's, as you said, for those who aren't really interested in the game, or just interested in the Super Bowl, hype of the day, that they get to enjoy the music, the performances, and really it's their time to enjoy the day. So to each their own, I guess. All right, you mentioned commercials, that you typically don't get up during the commercials. What are your thoughts on Super Bowl commercials? Again, is something you like to pay attention to, glued to the TV? Do you do rankings in your head? Who's got the best commercial this Super Bowl Sunday? What are your thoughts on the commercials, and how much do you pay attention to those?
So that's another great question. I like the commercials, more than the halftime show. I'll tell you that. Not more than the game though. So game is number one. Commercials are right there, but I love them. I know there's some that are good and some that you're like, what in the world was that? But companies spend so much money to obviously have a small little segment of throwing their brand up there during the Super Bowl. So I think they spend a lot in regards to thinking critically for making sure that it's probably one of their best and most effective commercials of the year. At least it should be if you're going to spend that kind of money. So I enjoy seeing what companies throw out there. And like I said, the ones that are funny are the ones that I absolutely love. And there's some good ones and some bad ones, but I do enjoy seeing the new commercials for the year come out during the Super Bowl. Zach?
Yeah, I really do enjoy the commercials. And again, it's another thing that I'll pay attention during the game, but I'll usually look at a recap after the game or the following day, just to read what articles, who likes what, and maybe catch the ones that I've missed, because of eating or taking a restroom break. Because like you, I'm not getting up during the game. It's the halftime show or the commercials, and then I'm getting up. But I like T-Mobile's commercial that they put out yesterday, with Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Thought that was a great commercial. And looking forward to VaynerMedia. Gary Vee, his team put together another commercial for a turf company. So Scott's Turf Company. I'm excited to see what they do. They did a great commercial last year with Sabra Hummus. I pay attention only from the business aspect of it. I really do enjoy the writing of commercials and the production of commercials, and I think being a business major, it interests me from that aspect. So really do enjoy them. But again, the game comes first today, and I'll kind of dissect everything tomorrow or late this evening. Since I'm West Mountain Time now, the game ends a little bit earlier for me, so I actually get to see the whole game.
Zach,
So
real quick on the commercial aspect, I know you're a big Miller Lite drinker, so stay tuned for this Super Bowl to see what Miller Lite has in store for you.
Okay. All right. I'm not a big Miller Lite drinker. It's just a beer of choice.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And you have some investment in that as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So out with that, food. I put you on the spot last week. Asked what your favorite Super Bowl food was, or top couple. Are you in the appetizers, the meals, sandwiches, dips? What's the Fragnoli household putting on the table today?
So great question. And I did give it some thought since you put me out on the spot and I didn't have an answer for you last week. So Tina, one of her aunts, makes a really, really good chip dip. And it's one of those layered dips that has the refried beans, the sour cream, salsa, shredded cheese, tomatoes, all that on there. Perfect. For some reason, I love that. You grab a Tostitos chip, dip it in there, and you can eat that for days. But I absolutely love that. Zach?
Yeah, the 7-layer dip I think you're referring to is what I love. I love that as well. Big dip guy. So we got buffalo chicken dip, 7-layer dip with queso salsa. So a lot of dipping going on in the household today. No double dip in the chips though. We're gonna COVID safe today. But there's a lot of finger foods, appetizers, sandwich platters, things like that. Maybe if we don't have enough food on the table, order some pizza and wings or something. But lots of dips, lots of sides. Got to get some veggies with some ranch and eat a little healthy today, I guess, with some veggies. But that's what's in the Sodi household today. All right, so Al, we talked about all the ancillary things of Super Bowl Sunday, the food, the commercials, the halftime show. We talked a little bit about the game, but let's end this week's episode or the Sunday special episode with your picks. We've got the Chiefs, Tampa Bay, in Tampa. What do we got?
So we've talked about this the last 2 weeks leading up into the Super Bowl. I think the easy and safe pick is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to stand by that. They're 3-point favorites, but with that offense and how incredible Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they have got so many weapons on offense. I'm still going to say that, that's the sexy pick. That's the easy one. I am going to say that. But I think every person and their mother knows that I'll be pulling for Tom Brady to keep winning Super Bowls until that man retires. And I've got his shirt ready to roll here. Okay. So we got that shirt ready. I'm prepared for it. If I had to put money on it, I would take Kansas City, but I will be pulling for Tampa Bay. Zach?
Yeah, so I think the safe pick is Kansas City. But as I said, I think if Tampa Bay's defense can just get a turnover, maybe a stop, and just keep it in a close, 1-score, 2-score game coming into the fourth quarter, Tom Brady's going to pull it out. I mean, the guy's a winner. He's a champion, and you can never bet against Tom Brady when it comes down to close games in the fourth quarter, especially these big games. And when I say close game, anything 28-3 is a close game in the Super Bowl for Tom Brady. So I would like to see Tom Brady win 7 Super Bowls. As a Steeler fan, that hurts me to say, but at this point, the guy is so good.
Yeah.
All right.
What
do you think, Al?
It should be an absolutely great game. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens, but keep pulling, keep rooting for Tom Brady for as long as he's still in the NFL, and he might go till 50, Zach. So he's come out and said that in the last few days he wants to play past 45. At first it was until 45, now it's past 45. So it's going to be his wife pulling him away from the game. That's what I believe.
Hey, on one of our shows, I said 50 weeks ago. I said the guy's going to play till he's 50 if he can.
Well, we'll see what happens 7 years from now, Zach.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to have some special guests coming up, maybe even another roundtable discussion with some great people. So look forward to seeing everybody in the upcoming episodes in the next week or so. Until then, have a safe and happy Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll talk to everyone later.
Thanks, everybody. Go Bucks.